All right, picture this. You're staring at a blank screen, trying to figure out how to create professional assets without a graphic design background or a massive budget. You know that terrifying moment, right? You're worried you'll just end up with some kind of visual Frankenstein. It can be incredibly overwhelming. But here's the secret. You really don't need to be a professional designer to create stunning, high-converting visuals. You just need a repeatable system. So in this explainer, I'm going to walk you through a complete, start-to-finish workflow. We're taking you straight from a totally blank digital canvas all the way to a printed masterpiece and a portfolio that actually gets you hired. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by building your brand identity, then move on to designing professional business flyers, adapting those designs for literally anywhere, nailing your export settings, and finally showcasing that shiny new professional portfolio. Let's just jump right in, shall we? All right, part one, building your brand identity. Because, we got to lay a solid foundation before we start building the house. Okay, so here's a secret. A truly professional look actually starts with strict restraints. I mean, we've all seen amateur designs that just throw every color and font imaginable onto a page, right? Yeah, we want to avoid that. You really want to limit yourself to a very specific set of core assets. Keep it simple. 2 brand colors, your main one and an accent. Throw in 1 neutral color, like black, white, or gray to balance things out. For typography, stick to exactly 2 fonts, 1 for headlines, 1 for body text. And obviously, grab your logo file, ideally a PNG with a transparent background. Setting up these constraints right off the bat gives you a repeatable system that you'll use over and over. Now, to actually build out this brand mood board, you can brainstorm super fast using keyboard shortcuts on a Canva whiteboard. Just hit S on your keyboard to instantly drop in sticky notes for your ideas. Need to connect those thoughts? Press L for lines, C for circles, or R for rectangles. Oh, and if you need to search for something quickly, say emojis, charts, maybe a timer, just hit the / key. It's kind of a magic shortcut and a massive time saver. You can even bring your team in to collaborate live. Trust me, mapping out your foundation like this is going to save you countless hours down the road. Moving on to part 2, designing professional business flyers. It's time to actually put that brand identity to work. So, to avoid those chaotic, messy designs, you absolutely have to master the 70-20-10 rule. Color is super powerful, but too much of it, it's just overwhelming. To keep things clean, aim for 70% of your flyer to be white or a neutral color. You need that white space. Then dedicate 20% to your main brand color. And that final 10%, that's your accent color. And listen, you gotta save this exclusively for the most important stuff, like prices or your call to action. By controlling your color this way, you literally guide the reader's eye exactly where it needs to go. Okay, onto fonts. Clean typography is basically the fastest way to take a flyer from amateur hour to completely professional. Remember those 2 fonts we picked earlier? Use 1 for the headline, 1 for the body text. Make sure that body text is actually readable. Don't shrink it down just to cram more words in there. And please, whatever you do, avoid stretching your fonts out of proportion. Nobody wants to look at a squished letter A. Stick to a maximum of 2 to 3 font sizes across the whole design. It just makes everything look so much more premium and trustworthy. Now let's talk layout. If you follow this 5-block structure, you're pretty much guaranteeing your flyer has a clear visual hierarchy. Block 1 is your headline. Tell them exactly what it is. Block 2 is the subheadline, which clarifies who it's for. Block 3 gets into the nitty-gritty, your offer details, prices, dates. Block 4 is super crucial. This is your proof. So a short testimonial, a star rating, maybe a trusted by logo. And finally, block 5 is your call to action. Tell them exactly how to order or where to go. Laying it out sequentially like this just makes the whole thing incredibly easy to scan. But hey, remember your flyer isn't just a piece of art. It's communication. People skim these things, so your copy needs to be punchy and specific. Let's look at an example. Weak copy says something like, "We have great products with amazing quality." I mean, it's vague, it's forgettable. Strong copy? "Fresh brownies today. Buy 2, get 1 free. Pick up 3 to 7 p.m. See the difference? It uses numbers, the headline is short, and the call to action is undeniable. Being specific and actionable is always going to win. Before you call any flyer done, you've got to apply the 3-second rule. Just zoom out, look at your screen, and ask yourself, if a total stranger walked by and glanced at this for exactly 3 seconds, would they understand your offer and your call to action? If it feels messy or confusing from a distance, well, you've got to simplify it. All right, let's hit part 3, adapting designs for anywhere. This is where we scale your work so you never have to reinvent the wheel. So you've got your master flyer, which is great, but nowadays everything has to live in multiple contexts, right? Instagram, print, you name it. If you're using a tool like Canva Pro, you can use the copy and resize feature to adapt your design instantly. You can actually check off multiple formats at once. Boom, Instagram post, Instagram story, and a postcard, all in one go. The huge pro tip here is to make sure you choose copy and resize instead of just resize. That way, your original master document stays totally intact, while the system generates a new folder with all your new, perfectly sized variations. Now, I will say, even with these magic tools, an automated resize is rarely perfect on the first try. You always have to double-check the final layout. Like, if you shrink a flyer down to a postcard, check those text sizes. Don't go below a size 9 for print or it'll just be unreadable. If your background image gets weirdly cropped, you can use AI tools like Magic Expand to kind of stretch and blend it seamlessly. And yeah, you'll probably need to manually drag a few overlapping elements around just to make sure they look good in the new aspect ratio. Oh, and if you're on a free version without the magic resize, just open a freshly sized canvas in a new tab, go to your master, copy everything, and paste it right in. Simple workaround. Okay, moving on to part 4, perfecting your export settings. Time to prep those files for the real world. Choosing the right format is absolutely critical, and it depends entirely on where this asset is going to live. If you're sending your design to a commercial print shop, PDF print is for sure your safest bet. If you're taking those graphics straight to Instagram or Facebook, go with PNG for high-quality digital sharing. And if you just need to shoot over a quick draft in a text message or email, a JPG is perfect because the file size is nice and small. Now, if you're actually printing these out physically, you have to follow a strict print checklist to avoid some really expensive mistakes. First up, if your background, color, or image goes right to the edge of the paper, you have to add what's called a bleed in your export settings. If you don't, you might get weird white borders, or worse, open a box of 500 ruined flyers. Second, keep your important text far away from the edges. Third, use high-resolution photos so nothing looks pixelated. And lastly, if your printer asks for CMYK color format and you're not 100% sure your software exported it that way, always send that PDF print and request a physical proof before you pay for a massive run. Trust me on that one. And finally, part 5, showcasing your professional portfolio. Let's get your work out there and attract those high-paying clients. So, importing your beautifully structured designs into a platform like Behance is basically a giant flare to massive companies that you're a serious pro ready to be hired. You can easily share all your custom artwork, everything from your brand mood boards to those master flyers. But here is the most important step. Go into your profile settings and specifically change your availability status to freelancer. That is basically the magic key that lets clients who are actively looking to hire actually find you in their search results. And to make absolutely sure you get discovered, you've got to optimize those uploads. Do not use generic tags. Instead of just tagging something as artwork, use hyper-specific tags like music artwork, mixtape design, or custom flyer illustration. Nailing those specific tags practically guarantees you show up when clients use the hire search function. Oh, and try customizing your portfolio's background colors. Setting the background to black, for instance, adds incredible contrast and makes your designs literally pop right off the screen. You can also paste embed codes to link directly to your external presentations, which is a really nice touch. So there we have it. You now have the exact step-by-step workflow to turn a blank screen into a thriving brand identity, a high-converting flyer, and a portfolio that actually gets you hired. Start applying these rules today. Set your brand constraints. Lean on that 5-block structure. Resize efficiently and export perfectly. It's time to stop wasting time and start converting your audience like the professional you are. So armed with all these tools, I gotta ask, what will your first master design be? Thanks for tuning in to this explainer. I really can't wait to see what you create.